where for the first time since 1948, it is a non-conference matchup between NC State and Virginia. But it'll be an exciting quarterback matchup. Why is it a non-conference game? We'll explain a little bit later. As you said, 224 all-purpose yards and a couple of touchdowns last week, one of which was a 100-yard kickoff return for a score in their 48-7 opening win against Coastal Carolina. And this one will bounce through the end zone for a touchback. So that will bring Chandler Morris onto the field for the first time. Jamari Taylor, grad transfer from North Carolina Central in the backfield. That didn't work. Sebastian Harsh with a harsh hit behind the line of scrimmage.
Number 8 is like an X-Men. Sebastian Harsh is an animal. You turn on the tape, he is everywhere. He lines up on the edge, but also be on the inside. Watch its inside rush, inside move, just destroying the
Harsh as this now sets up 3rd down and 9. Morris, well protected, slings one to the sideline. Nice timing route to Jamal Edrin, and he toe taps for a first down. NC State twists up front. They pick it up and find the crosser. Well protected was Chandler Morris, and that allows Dakota Twitty to come free for another 3rd down conversion.
In fact, you see guys typing their head because they're tired, but great job protecting up front. There's no penetration. The offensive line that has been revamped from last week, the offensive line is doing a good job of trying to slow down in the...
Just offset with Morris in the backfield. They're going to try and run for it here, and he bounces free. Jamari Taylor with a flag down, sees the end zone. If it stands, touchdown.
From here, and he's putting his skills on display. Not the biggest back, but you see the physicality, the speed, the finish. Jamari Taylor with a touch.
And he is the youngest player to ever be a captain for the Pack under Dave Doran. Well protected here, showing the arm strength, coming back to make the catch and dodging tacklers on the far side. First down and more, 23 yards.
I love this decision by C.J. Bailey. He could have taken off and run, but he didn't. He's not a running quarterback. He wants to get the ball out. Notice the ball comes out before the receiver is out of their break. So you see Anderson just gets out of his break. The ball's there. We saw that when you talk to anyone a part of this program. He knows what it's like to win. He instills that in his team.
Quarterback run. Bailey finds a crease. Bailey, the long strides to the end zone. And he's got a touchdown for the Pack. 30 yards.
Some of the growth that you're going to see, maybe growing pains. I'd call this a growth spurt. Last week, we saw C.J. Bailey have a rushing touchdown and a passing touchdown in a half for the first time in his career.
3rd down and 5. 4-man rush. Morris escapes the pocket and uses his crosser. An easy pitch and catch first down to Trell Harris.
Crossing routes, which is easy when you're running against man-to-man defense, but here we see a little bit of a zone. You're going to see a little bit of a zone.
They'll run it with Noah Vaughn. He's to the sideline, tries to turn the corner and does, into the red zone before Brian Nelson bumps him out.
For a team that you think their defense might be more physical than you, this is a shout-out to the offensive line of Virginia. They brought in 7 transfer offensive linemen. 4 of them are injured. Soft, give it to him.
They'll run it with Taylor. He's looking for another touchdown. He opened up the first drive with a score, and he has another.
For the Wolfpack.
C.J. Bailey checks it down to Smothers. Spins through a couple of tackles and has a first down.
Outstanding tackle by number 28, Donovan Platt. And then all of a sudden, Hollywood on Donovan Platt and the rest of the Virginia defense. Watch him set up the defender.
And now it's Jaden Duke Scott in the backfield. Play action, though, for Bailey. Has all day to scan the field. Finds a crosser reaching back to make the catch. And a nice one at that is Wesley Grimes.
One of the posts that he had in the middle of the field, about 30, 40 yards down the field, neither post was available. So as he's looking down, he says, should I do it? Should I do it? No, let me find my underneath receiver. Outstanding job.
We're border rivals. It makes sense to play this game, so they signed up a home and home. C.J. Bailey up the seam towards the end zone for the touchdown to Noah Rogers. Another answer for NC State. Through the air.
Talked about the growth for the young player, but watch the pocket. There's protection, there's no pressure, and C.J. Bailey just finds Noah Rogers right over the outstretched arms of the defender. A busted assignment on the back end, but C.J. Bailey had to find it, and he did. Perfectly placed ball to Rogers.
Well, neither of these teams has put any heat at all on the opposing quarterbacks. Often And Taylor Davis here in Raleigh. Hollywood Smothers gets outside. Escaped the hit of Ethan Minter. Great touchdown drives. The two teams exchange punts for the first time. Chandler Morris back to work out of the pocket. Wide open. He's got Dakota Twitty running down the sideline. Flags down in the offensive backfield, though. NC State shows blitz. They rush 5. They're running it with Brown. Breaks a tackle. First down. Flags thrown everywhere in the secondary. Was that a horse collar tackle? Morris well protected. Crossing route. Down to the 26-yard line. The freshman Dylan Newton short. After the injury timeout. Nowhere to go for Jamari Taylor on second down. 18 of 21 kicking each of the last 2 years. Was 2 for 3 on opening day. And this one from 29 yards out. And now Cam Ross hoping for a chance at a return. And he will get a chance from the 25. There he goes. Cam Ross to midfield. Still on his feet down the sideline. A 100-yard kickoff return for a touchdown last week.
Big-time players make big-time plays in big-time games. Cam Ross is a big-time player. He sets up the defender and then just lets his vision and speed do the rest. Watch him cut outside to find more space. Just gained an extra 10 to 12 yards.
Two tight ends and Jamari Taylor back in just behind Chandler Morris. First and goal, it's play action. Morris floats back to the goal line for a touchdown to Sage Ennis. So the tight end shakes off the earlier injury. He is back in with a touchdown catch. And Virginia's got a 2-score lead.
Effectively run the football. There have been 5 to 7 effective runs on this drive. We're going to see Sage Ennis from the other side of the field. Block, 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 and leak out towards the end. Bad eyes by the defense, better play by the offense.
J.J. Johnson just could not keep up with Sage Ennis. That's a tough assignment as those crossers. Will we see more blitz on third down from either defense?
Not from Virginia because they don't need to, but we've seen NC State blitz a little bit more.
First down carry for Smothers. They snap it with about 15 on the play clock. C.J. Bailey floats one to the sideline. Wide open is Justin Jolie. And the tight end makes his first impact catch of the game. Of receptions and yards.
Yeah, Jolie's another leader on this offense, but notice the coverage isn't great. You're seeing a little bit of a zone coverage, but
maybe the best weapon for Virginia and Justin Jolie were teammates at Connecticut. Finding a crease and finding the end zone is Hollywood Smothers for an NC State touchdown. What a drive to start off the third quarter.
Hollywood Smothers does what he does best. He earned the nickname for a reason. Didn't have to do too much. The offensive line made it wide open, but gets himself into the end zone. 24-21.
A touchdown to start the third quarter. An immediate chance to get the football back, and Hollywood Smothers down the sideline. A little shimmy shake to stay in bounds. Finally pushed out inside the 25. Rick Costner saved a touchdown.
Smothers. That's his given name, but you got to call him Hollywood for a reason. They gave him that name as a young kid because every time he touched the football, he would make a play. Hollywood. Now they're trying to show who they are. Explosive in the run game with a dominant quarterback.
C.J. Bailey blitz off the edge. Makes a man miss. He'll take off. No one out on the edge to stop C.J. Bailey. His second rushing touchdown.
Less than air. I mean, C.J. Bailey sees the blitzer come, and he sets him up. Watch him. He just waits, boom, set him up with that inside little shimmy, and then all he sees is green grass. Yeah, we talk about the weight that he's put on, but the maturity.
They try and run for it. And getting free is Jamari Taylor. Being chased. He's got to step down the sideline. Touchdown.
On for my city. Jamari Taylor went to school 15 miles from here. And this is, bad defense, poor tackling, but this is the same thing we saw on that first drive for Jamari Taylor. He's been...
And a long snapper as well, plus their freshman that they've brought in as Hollywood Smothers. Nice bounce cut and a couple of spin moves. to make tacklers miss.
Coaching staff is one of the few in FBS that stayed intact. And you're going to see Hollywood Smothers make a couple people miss, held to a 6-yard gain. But the coaching staff and the vision and the culture that you build, you don't have any of that when you have consistency in coaching staff.
Room for Scott. Turns the corner. First down and then some.
Yeah, great job by Scott dipping in and going outside. We talked about it earlier, though. Whoever can control that run game is going to win this game. Neither team has been able to really.
C.J. Bailey, play action again. Finds Justin Jolie. First and goal, NC State. Run game.
And somewhat of a double move by Jolie. You're going to see him right there as a tight end. He's going to go up the field a little bit. He's going to almost have like an out and then an up. That's what has him so wide open.
Jolie out, but 2 tight ends back in. They'll try to pave the way for Smothers. Breaks a tackle, cuts it back. Touchdown again. And they've got the lead back.
Hollywood Smothers is given the ball, runs away from the blitz, away from the pressure, makes one man miss, and gets into the end zone. Perfectly timed play call, running away from where you think they're going to go, and then cutting back and getting into the zone.
For the Hoos. Takes the handoff. Nope, keeping it is Chandler Morris, his first run of the day. And they obviously weren't expecting to see it. He protects that shoulder by cruising out of bounds all the way down to the NC State 35-yard line.
Of course, uses his legs. We saw this last week. He had a nice run, nearly a touchdown. He hurt his shoulder. But on that zone read, the defense.
Facing 3rd down and 6. Morris. That time, again he finds Trell Harris. Cam Ross in motion. On the ground, it's Vaughn. Cut back, no, check that, another keeper for Morris.
In the first half, it was Jamari Taylor. It was the running game. It was anybody you could think of. But now 2 times in the second half, Chandler Morris has kept it.
4-man rush, floating right is Bailey. Swings one right, caught right sideline, first down. Exactly what NC State needed for the Pack.
And that who happened to be on offense. C.J. Bailey with a perfectly placed ball to Terrell Anderson. Notice he catches it with
4th and 1. Will the Wolfpack go for it after all? They will. Wilson. It looks like he's got the push for the first down. Gutsy call from Dave Doran. And the true freshman picks it up.
Middle name, Doran. From your own 28-yard line, putting in a freshman. The snap was high. Yes, we'll.
He doctored up a 4th down call there, and here's C.J. Bailey to run. And he will be thrown down behind the line of scrimmage after a couple of spins. Mitchell Melton and Jason Hammond were there. What kind of field position might he give his team? Good kick here from Noonkester. Drives Ross all the way back to the 10-yard line. Did they outkick their coverage? Ross trying to make players miss, and he will bob and weave his way to the 19-yard line. Obviously 4-down territory here for Virginia, 3rd and 9. High snap pulled down by Morris. Over the middle, complete inside the 15-yard line. And Ross, after unable to hold on to one earlier, comes back with a big catch for 20.
Climbs the ladder to make the play. Cam Ross is their guy. So when you need a play, get it to your guys.
Still over a minute on the clock. Chandler Morris scrambling right, floats one in the end zone for an interception. The defensive end, Kean Sloan, drops back in coverage and gets a pick. C.J. Bailey to take one final knee, and that will do it. It was a 10-point lead for Virginia at halftime, but NC State with a big second-half comeback to take down the Hoos 35-31 in a terrific football game. Well, every year these two teams don't play in ACC play. Sign us up for this. Keep this rivalry game going.
Man, what a game, what a matchup. We talked about it maybe coming down to who had the ball last. Well, NC State took the ball last. Kean Sloan, number 8, transfer from UT State. Utah State, unbelievable.
You want this, you got that.